welcome back guys, and this is the fifth one of our NC500, and this is a what went wrong video. So it's purely about what went wrong with our van on our holiday. It's not really about the holiday much, it's more about that and that, only that. So we'd just got to Skye, we'd found an amazing park for night. We'll put the picture up here, and it was phenomenal. The view straight out onto the ocean from the van, beautiful. So that night we went to bed. It was late, it was crappy weather, and about 3 o'clock in the morning I could hear chiming like you get from a phone or a warning light, whatever. So I said to my wife, someone's trying to get in touch with you. Just checked the phone, no. I checked my phone, no. Is it Jazz? Fast asleep. Kept hearing it, just kept chiming away. I'm like, what is it then? So I got out of bed, travelled through the van, and we got a hatch that comes into the cab here because they're separate, it's not an open cab. And all the dashboard lights on the van were on and flashing. And like, went back, got the keys. I'm like, well, this isn't working out. So I tried locking it and unlocking it, nothing. All we had was chiming, all the dash lights flashing, and like, so I thought, well, fair enough, we've just driven through an absolute downpour. We've done a lot of miles through a lot of floods and deep puddles of rain. Maybe there's water somewhere that shouldn't be. So I thought, for now, I'll just get out of bed, I'll get out of the van, sorry, disconnect the battery, deal with it in the morning. So that's what I've done. Shut the bonnet, whatever. Got back into bed, and that was that. So in the morning, I thought, right, okay, let's put the battery terminal back on, and straight away all the dash lights come on. Now also what I do know, like my van has DRLs, which is driving lights, so they're on all the time, and the minute you put the battery terminal back on the live, the side lights come on, which means obviously the ignition is on when it isn't. So you put the key in ignition, turn it, nothing, dead. Lock and unlock, nothing. It's like, great. So googled any local garages on Skye, and there was 3 that we could find on Google. So we walked up to one. Lovely lady said she'd love to help. They're very busy, but if we can't get anyone else to help, she'll send someone down to look later. So that's fair enough. So, but she pointed us in the direction of another garage, which is like a mile away, so we walked to that. Even more busy, and all they wanted to do was offer the basic checks. Now I can do basic checks myself, I'm a mechanic, I know what to check normally, like make sure there's not water in anything, check fuses, yada yada yada, make sure there's no broken wires, check earth cables are on, all the things you would check as a basic check. I'm not a vehicle electrician, I am not. I know the basic electrics and what I need to do to take things off, put things on, you know, usual stuff, but I'm not a vehicle electrician at all. So anyway, so we went back to the lady and said, you know, they can't help, and she said, well, here's our number, give us a ring if you can't get anyone, and we'll send one of our mechanics down later on. So that was that. So we looked for the third garage, and the third garage didn't seem to exist. We couldn't find it. So I went back and I checked everything I could check again and see if I'd missed anything, and I couldn't find anything. You know, it's, you know, very, very frustrating, very annoying. We're in Scotland, we live in Devon, miles from anywhere, and not only are we in Scotland, but we're on Skye, which is, you know, on the edge of Scotland. So yeah, very frustrating. But so what we did was we spent the day walking around Skye and visiting shops and doing the touristy thing, whilst I racked my brain trying to figure out what to do. And then later on that evening it came to me, I thought, just phone an Iveco dealer, because our van is an Iveco van, and ask if I can speak to a technician and ask them if there's something I should be checking. So we phoned and got through, and they said, well, we'd get a technician to phone you back, and they did, and I missed it because I'm an idiot. But I phoned back and they put him on, and he told me the things to check, and one of the things was a a junction box on the back of the van that you plug into when you fit a tow bar, and the electrics, it just plugs straight on. So they feel full of water sometimes and it shorts the electrics out. So I went and looked at that was bone dry. He told me a fuse box that I didn't know existed, so I went and looked at that, and that was perfect. So everything he said they would check was fine. So I'm like, well, obviously, and that's an Iveco dealership, they know what they're doing. That's what they would have checked, you know, without plugging it in. So yeah, these other garages aren't going to find it if they can't, and they couldn't plug it in either. All they could do is check, which is kind of what I'd already done. So just like, yeah, damn it. So then it was well, let's just eat, have dinner, give it a night, wake up in the morning, see where we are, see what we got to do. So we had dinner, went to sleep, woke up in the morning, and that night it was just annoying me, it's racking my brains, and I had an idea, and it was a really kind of throwaway idea, but I thought it's worth a go. So what we done is put the key in the ignition, turn the key on, obviously with no battery on, then reconnect the battery and tried to start it, and it started straight away. I'm like, that worked. I said, right, the funny thing is, the girls are still in their onesies, they were still all kind of, you know, ready to stay another day basically and just chill out for the morning. So right, let's pack up, it's running, let's get off of Skye, which hasn't got anything that can help us, and let's get to a city where we can actually sort ourselves out. So we packed up, started heading towards Inverness. Then I realised we needed fuel. So we're gonna have to stop anyway. So I thought, sod it, you know, let's just try and see if it works again, and we'll be stuck wherever the fuel station is if not. So we pulled up just outside of Inverness and turned it off. Engine stopped, all the dash lights went out. So this might be a good thing. Got out, took the fuel cap off, started filling fuel up. Wife knocks on the window, dash lights are back on, everything's flashing, beeping. It's like, So that was that. Gave her the key, she turned the ignition off, and I unplugged the battery, filled it up, went and paid, and this is the moment of truth. Is it going to be able to do it again? So I said, right, turn the ignition on. She turned it on, I put the battery back on, and I just said fire it up, and it fired straight away. And then we knew that system would work, and it's like, right, okay, what do we do now? And you know, we'd only been 3 or so days into our journey, 3.5 days into our trip to Scotland. Like, I think we need to start heading back. I think we need to just head back, because we don't know. Let's kind of slowly work our way back, make a bit of a holiday on the way back, but at least we're getting closer to where we live if it finally stops working. And that's what we done. So we stopped at this wonderful pub, had the most amazing meal. We'll chuck some pictures of the food up now. Got in the van, whole system again, fired up lovely. So then we thought, well, sod it, let's go back to the Cairngorms, park where we did originally on the way up, and sleep there tonight. So we went back, we knew where it was, so we just drove back to the Cairngorms, parked up in the exact same car park we were in at the beginning with the snow, and turned the ignition off, and it wouldn't stop.
Mum, show me the key.
Van kept running, still running, ignition out, keys out. Now every time to this point, when you turn the key off, the van would actually turn off. It didn't. So I said to my wife, oh, just stall it, don't worry about it. And she wasn't sure, she's never stalled a van like this before. I said, well, that's all right, I'll do it, it's not a problem. So I stalled the van, disconnected the battery. It was like, maybe we've got a problem now. So, but anyway, we said, well, so what? We kind of settled down for, like, walk the dogs, settled down for the night, got up in the morning, tried the system again in the morning, and it fired. We said, okay, well, no matter what, even if we have to stall the van now to turn it off, we know we can start it, we know we can stop it if we have to stop it, if it won't turn off with the key, but we know the system works. So we just started planning our route back. So, you know, I'll fill in the route back at another time. This is more about what went wrong, so that's that. So, but what I will say now is, when we got home, I booked it into a vehicle electric specialist where we live, and obviously we got home, so that was fine. Now he couldn't have it straight away, so it was about 3 or 4 days before he could have it in. So I just disconnected the battery, left it on the drive, and pretty much forgot about it until the day we had to take it in. So 3 or 4 days later, whatever it was, I think it might have even been 4, I did the same system again to start it, fired straight up, took it in, and just left it with him, went to work. And I got a phone call at lunchtime, your van's fine, absolutely fine. I'm like, how do you mean? He said, we've left it late, it's sat there with the battery connected, won't, you know, hasn't done it, we've left it running for an hour, ticking over, turned it off, it just turned off, stayed off. I said, well, okay, I'll pick it up on the way home from work, which was probably another 3 or 4 hours, about 4 hours from my lunchtime. You know, we'll see how it is then. So he left it off the entire time, nothing, didn't do it again. So anyway, I turned up, still everything was still off, had a chat with him, lovely guy. He just said, well, unfortunately we've technically done nothing. So it was a nice small bill, because it was just an hour of their time to check over what they could check over, what I checked over basically, and they couldn't find any problems with relays or fuses or water ingress. And that was it. I drove home and well, paid the bill, drove home, and it's worked ever since, touch wood. We've been on holidays, we've been to Cornwall, as you can see from our other videos, been all over in it. And I phoned him, he did say to phone, so I phoned him about a week or 2 later, and I just said, you know, it's not done it again since. And he did say it could possibly just be, it only did 57 miles in 3 years before we bought it. And then all of a sudden it's gone from 57 miles in 3 years to 2,400 miles in 6 days. And it might have just overwhelmed the electronics and the computers. These things are so riddled with ECUs, electronic control units, and relays, and like brains all over the place, that it's just tripped one, and it needed a long period of time to completely reset itself. And since then it has been fine. So hopefully that was just an annoying glitch that we actually got around, and it didn't ruin our holiday. It was a worry, and we didn't get to see the whole of Skye because of it, but that is what it is. But yeah, that was it. She's running lovely now, and that's all that matters. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm sorry if it's been a long or boring one. Let us know if anything random like that has happened to you in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.